Welcome back to the Deep Dive. So today our mission is kind of breaking down the whole world of hunting seasons, the laws, and importantly, the ethical side of things.
Hmm.
We've pulled together a bunch of sources, guides, best practices, basically, to give you the key facts and point you to the resources you need to get up to speed fast.
And yeah, if there's one thing that jumps out from all that material, it's that the rules for hunting legally and ethically are, well, they're pretty strict. And it gets complicated because these regulations aren't just national or even statewide sometimes. They can be super specific to certain areas.
Right, which brings us straight to maybe the biggest hurdle for anyone starting out or even, experienced folks moving somewhere new.
Yeah.
That's figuring out the line between just following the law and actually being ethical. Okay, let's unpack this.
Mm-hmm. And that difference, it's really the foundation of hunting responsibly. The community expects it. The law, you see, that's like the absolute minimum. Season dates, bag limits, licenses, you break those, you're in trouble. Simple as that.
But the ethics, that's different. That's more about the sport's reputation, respecting the animals. It's policed more by, peer pressure.
Exactly. It's all about how prepared you are and, crucially, about minimizing suffering. Our sources gave a really good example of this. It might be perfectly legal, hunting season's open, you've got your tag, you're in the right spot.
Okay.
But let's say you didn't take the time to sight in your rifle, you haven't checked if it's actually accurate. Taking that shot, universally considered unethical in the hunting community.
Huh. That's interesting because the law probably doesn't ask, did you zero your scope this morning?
Nope, not
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
But the community sees that lack of prep as, well, negligent, unacceptable.
It goes back to that idea of fair chase, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Respecting the animal enough to be skilled and ready.
Precisely. Making a clean, quick harvest. Which is why step one for being both legal and ethical is always preparation. And that prep starts with getting the right info, the current info.
Which leads us to the resource mentioned over and over again, the State Game Agency website. Not some random forum, not what your buddy did 3 years ago.
That's the gold standard. Seriously, those official websites, that's where you find the real deal. Fair chase rules for where you'll be, the super detailed rules for each species, and of course, how to get your license and tags. It all comes from there.
Okay, so we know where to look. Now, let's tackle when you can hunt. Let's decode these seasons. We know the dates are usually around the same time each year, but the sources were really clear. They're set annually. You've got to check every single year.
Yeah, don't assume. Things can change. Maybe a tough winter hit the population, or there's a new management plan. Always check the latest calendar. And how they structure those calendars, it really reflects the goal of conservation. It varies a lot depending on the animal.
Right, you mentioned it's kind of a spectrum.
Exactly. So on one end, you've got your smaller